out on the sea, searching for something that really found me. I didn't know it, but it drew me to it. Soon I was full of its passion in me. I'm Italo Labignan. 40 years I've fished the world and have learned it's not just about catching the fish, the size of the fish, or the numbers. It's about appreciating every sunrise and sunset, the smell of the sea, savoring the culture and the fish with friends. Here's the catch. It's the total experience. Presented by Bear Reels, versatile, precision, handcrafted hybrid center pins. Seabreeze boats, tame the oceans. Raymarine Electronics. Raymarine, simply superior. The sun is shining, everything is green and vibrant, winds are low and water is smooth. And we're on our way offshore to enjoy some mixed grouper and snapper action. We make a nice run out to deep water, and the first thing we do is to start casting lures to see if there's any predator fish near the surface over a hard bottom. Tyler, guess what?
Oh, you finally got one over there, huh?
It's acting funny though, I don't know. You think it's a king?
By the way it ran.
Come on. Trying to keep my balance here. I love this roly-poly rock and roll stuff. It's awesome.
You got your sea legs yet?
Oh, yeah. Come on. Are you gonna run or what? Maybe it's playing a sleeper. Does it know it's hooked?
He's coming right in now.
Come on. I think I'm gonna go to the other side. A little bit of an obstacle course here. I love it. There. Let's see here. I mean, it's got some weight to it, Tyler. How are you doing with the bait fish?
I got one over here.
Okay, good. Teamwork. Tyler dropped the sabiki down, so he's trying to get bait fish. And I started throwing the lure. Haven't really seen this fish. It's behaving kind of weird. I don't know if it's hooked funny. Hopefully it'll stay on. Oh, they've got some head shakes. Interesting. Okay, he's starting to run now.
Still running?
Oh yeah, little bit. Made a couple of decent runs. Now it's kind of just dogging it. Maybe it's tired from eating. It's got a full stomach, Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
He came off?
You know what? Something ate it. Yeah, I cut my line. We bait up our bottom rigs and just get the first rod in the rod holder and the first fish hits. That was quick.
You got one over there?
Yep. How are you doing?
I just got to the bottom.
Did you put on a bait on too? Live bait?
I put a dead bait on.
Dead bait, okay. There's definitely fish down there, so we'll see. It's definitely on something.
Need me to get him out for you?
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah, I've seen you do it before.
Okay.
Careful. Let's see. Pretty tight.
Make him mad, right?
I can see that. I just don't know if it's a ledge, if you went right underneath it.
There he comes.
Get him out. Get him out. You know, for that, I'm going to let you bring him up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking something grabbed what I had on. It didn't feel that big to begin with. So this will be interesting. So you think it's a...
I think it's a red grouper.
Red grouper? Red grouper tastes good.
Yes, they do.
Yep. So it's funny because he didn't seem to be that big when I hooked him.
Yeah, nice grouper.
Beautiful. Gorgeous fish. Hold him out in the sun so you can appreciate all those spots. Definitely a keeper.
Yep. We could eat him tonight.
Good. Okay.
And red grouper just opened back up past 20 fathoms, so we're good to go on keeping them.
You know, Tyler was right. Just put a live bait fish down there, and that fish hit. It's funny because I put my rod down because I was going to try vertical jigging with a small jigging spoon, and we got the grouper right off the bat. Awesome. Look at this. Got the fish buried in ice. Good sized grouper. I got bait on top. He's going to stay nice and cool in there. There. Lots of steam power here. Tyler just gets his rig to the bottom and doesn't even get his rod in the rod holder when it's fish on.
It ate that whole pinfish.
You know what? That is a nice snapper. I got bad news for you. It's not a red.
No, yeah.
Look at this.
It's a huge mangrove.
That is a big fish.
Huge.
Come here.
Don't let that thing go.
I'm trying not to. You hooked it lightly.
You want me to get him?
Here.
Just grab him.
Let's do the Italian.
That's
the Italian
a 10-pound
grab.
mangrove right there. Another, maybe 8 or 9 pounds.
It's a gorgeous
Nice mangrove.
fish. Just gonna break the air bladder. Huge fish.
Can we keep him too?
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful mangrove.
Yeah, it's the biggest one I've seen you catch. I know you've probably caught bigger.
Yes, we
That
have,
is
but
gorgeous. What a nice
he's all
fish.
scarred up.
He's probably been in some fights.
That pinfish was about that big. He inhaled it.
Yeah. Gorgeous fish. Wow. Good job, Captain.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, the camera never does him justice, but that's a big mangrove. I got big hands.
Yeah, he's beautiful. Yeah. Gorgeous. Okay, you ready to get the hook out?
Yeah, let's put him in the ice.
Here, see if you can, he's kind of wrapped around, so it's kind of tight.
I've switched up hooks.
I can see that.
My hook won't break.
You put on a serious hook.
Yep.
Man, nice fish. That's a slapper.
That's a nice mangrove.
Good job. You know, this is what fishing with Tyler DeGraff on Always and Forever Charters. We're not on his boat today, but we're going to be eating on his boat.
Yes, we are.
Look at the size of these snappers.
Beautiful.
You'll fill up the box. Not all of them this big, but a lot of them are good size, like 4 or 5 pounds and up.
Fish like this.
What a gorgeous fish. Great eating. Good job.
Let's catch another one.
This time, Tyler doesn't put his rod in the rod holder. He's so confident he's going to hook up that he just holds the rod and gently moves his bait off the bottom. Good. You are slaying him, Tyler. Well, I'm talking to you. I'm going to keep my eye on my rod over there. Is it going to be another nice snapper?
I don't know.
Man, we got into some nice fish.
There's a nice box in there.
Yeah.
All kinds of colors.
Oh, yeah. And the conditions are awesome.
Beautiful. Couldn't ask for a better day.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially we're on a full moon now, too.
Yeah. I'm sure these guys were eating a lot at night.
Got you a grouper.
Yep.
Another nice one.
Yep.
Oh, you're on, you're on.
Okay. Sorry, I was gonna land it for you, but
I got him. Another beautiful grouper.
well done. Yep.
He's got spots all over him. It's weird.
Beautiful.
Do we want to keep this one? Or?
Yepper.
Okay.
Yep. They're great eating.
Save up on meat, right?
Exactly.
We don't get out here too often, or you don't get out here too often.
I don't. Some of them might be even going back to Canada.
Yeah. Very good. I'm gonna throw this one in the cooler. Get him in the ice with everybody else. That snapper's bigger than him. Perfect.
It's fighting good. It's good size.
That was a live bait too, right?
Yes. Yeah, I was saying earlier, see the grips on these rods? Most of the time, you know, there's actual blank there, which is fine, like for bass fishing and stuff, because it's sensitive.
Yeah.
But I really like on these
No, it's
toadfish
nice to have.
that it's smooth, very easy to hold.
Not
And-
slipping out of your hand.
Exactly. I think it's because of where they've got these grooves. Even when our hands have been slimy, you know,
You can
still
still
no
hang
problem
on,
holding
yeah.
on to it. Yeah. Never gets boring, eh?
No, it never does.
Every fish is different. Whether you land them or you lose them, or hooks break.
It's weird. We got hit right off the bat. We had a little lull.
Yep.
And then bam, bam.
Yep. It's not giving up. Like you think they'd give up. Come on.
He's fighting all the way up.
Yep. Nice head shakes. And yes, I did put the same hook on, the kinds that we've been breaking.
You did?
Yeah, I'm trying to go through them.
You were asking me why I was using them, and
well, I'll finish them off. It's just funny. Maybe it was just a bad batch of hooks. I don't know.
And they're breaking all at the same spot.
Yeah.
Right on the tip.
Yep. Beautiful
Put
fish.
them over here.
Yep.
Don't break any hooks.
We'll try not to. Good sized fish.
Oh, yeah.
They're so beautiful, eh? So bright. Good job.
Beautiful one.
Yep. Good fighters. He didn't give up, let me tell you.
Big snapper.
Yep.
That one's probably about, what, 12, 13 pounds?
At least. Yep. Hook just in the snout. The hook didn't break. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I'm gonna help him go down. This will heal real quick. There, so you can adjust. Beautiful fish. Nice fish. I know there's bigger ones, but you know what? That one fought so well on that center pin.
That's an awesome fish.
Ready for the launch, Captain?
I'm ready for the launch.
Okay, let's rock it back.
Let this one go.
Beautiful. One swoosh, bye-bye, and gone, eh?
Yeah.
Closed captioning brought to you by Leguano, natural barefoot technology for every adventure. Catching big snappers are fun, but cleaning them takes a bigger effort. They have tougher skin and bigger bones. I start by working the knife under the scales as opposed to trying to cut through them and make a cut just behind the head down to the vertebrae. Next, I put the knife in just behind the head and work it under the skin, back all along to the tail. I separate the flank away from the vertebrae and then cut the skin to separate the fillet just behind the head down to the end of the belly. I remove one fillet and then carefully separate the skin from the meat. With my left hand, I try and hold the skin down while my right hand works the knife along the skin, at the same time trying to save as much tasty meat as possible. I proceed to use the same steps on the other side and carefully run the knife down along the vertebrae and then run the tip of the knife in over the rib cage. Both fillets are off and it's time to get cooking. Today's recipe is snapper ceviche, which means using fresh produce and lots of Florida limes. The first thing I do is take the boneless snapper fillet and cut it into half-inch wide strips. Once the strips are separated, I hold several strips down together and make diagonal cuts about half-inch apart to cut the snapper into small chunks. This takes care since the strips are slippery, even on a wooden cutting board, and I want to make sure small chunks are similar in size. I take my time, and it's surprising how much fish you get from one good-sized snapper fillet. Those nice little snapper chunks are placed in fresh lime juice. I make sure they're all submerged, and then I start mixing and kneading them to make sure they all start absorbing the juice and get lightly cooked by the lime acid. As the fish pieces absorb the lime juice, I take more limes and squeeze additional juice on the fish. I mix the fish up again in the fresh juice and see the color change from opaque to white as the juices penetrate the fish. Time to clean any fish residue off the cutting board and start working on the fresh vegetables. Cutting ripe tomatoes is always easier with a very sharp knife. I cut the tomatoes into 1/4-inch slices, and then I cut those slices into half-inch strips, and then I cut those strips into 1/4-inch chunks. Once the tomatoes are all diced, they're slid into the main mixing bowl. I take a fresh onion and proceed to also dice it into small, half-inch even chunks. I cut the veggies into similar pieces to make sure they also evenly absorb the lime juice and hot sauce. Once the onion is cut, it's also added to the main mixing bowl. In my ceviche recipe, you have to have garlic. I call it the king of the kitchen. I cut slices perpendicular again and then place the cloves on the cutting board and dice the garlic into small 1/16 inch pieces. We want to make sure all that flavor gets evenly mixed into the ceviche. I finish off by making sure all the garlic pieces are tiny and add them to the main mixing bowl. This ceviche is going to be a little spicy, so I'm adding 2 fresh jalapeno peppers. I cut the stems off, I split the peppers in half and remove the seeds. I take each side and again cut it into thin strips and dice those strips into tiny pieces. I repeat the same process with the second one and it's added to the bowl. To give the ceviche a little creamy, nutty flavor, I add a ripe avocado. I split the avocado in half, remove the pit, and scoop out the tasty inside with a spoon. Again, I cut each half into slices and those slices into chunks and add them to the rest of my ingredients. I always leave the more delicate leafed herbs for the end so they don't get weighed down by the heavier veggies. I take fresh parsley bunch and dice it into small pieces and add it to the bowl. I love the fresh taste of cilantro in my ceviche recipe, and I have a nice bunch that I also dice up into small pieces. It's all added to the bowl. Finally, I take the fish pieces that have been marinating in the lime juice and use a spatula to add them to the main bowl, and at the same time squeeze out most of the used lime juice. The final ingredient is to add a spoonful of my friend Lex's homemade Thai hot sauce. The ingredients are all together and I squeeze several more fresh limes over the fish and I'm ready to mix everything together for us to enjoy.
What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. We're going to have some really nice ceviche and you're going to scoop it out. So number one, it was great fishing with you getting all those snapper.
Oh yeah.
I love the red snappers. I know they have limited seasons, you know, but if you get them, you get everything mixed in on the bottom, right?
Yep.
The mangroves though and the yellowtails, beautiful fish.
They're the best.
Even the lanes. I don't mind the lanes.
Nope.
No, they taste so good. So this is snapper ceviche. So you saw it made. Why don't you serve some up and then we can talk about stuff like fishing and things and, you know.
Sounds very good.
I mean, some of the fish from saltwater taste so good, you don't have to even cook them. Now this, I mean, the fish is cooked in actual acid from the limes, right? So tell me what you think before we start talking.
All right, we'll try it here.
I mixed it up, but I haven't tried it. Hope it's not too spicy.
Very good.
I mean, is that like a Florida? I know it's a Mexican dish, but sitting here in Florida today, we got like 90 degrees, high humidity.
It's very refreshing.
We got it made in the shade because we're on the gazebo here. There's a nice breeze, and this like is so the right thing to eat. As opposed to having something hot, you know, that's done.
Yep.
I mean, I like having grilled fish and everything else, but I find it so refreshing.
It's nice to have something different too sometimes.
It's like a salad / dessert to me / you know, main meal. So, for the people that you take out, how many of them ask you that they want the food fish, like the grouper and the snapper?
How many in like percentage?
Yeah, as opposed to, hey, whatever we can get, we just want to get some fish.
I would probably say 75 to 90% of everybody usually want meat fish.
They want
and then
the eaters.
The rest of the 10%, there's guys that just want to go out and catch them and release them.
That's interesting.
Yep.
10% is a high number.
It is a high number, but there's a lot of people that they just want to go catch them.
Do you tell them when they catch them for catch and release that they got to bring them up pretty quick and that you got to sometimes,
Yep,
you know,
we do. We take different precautions to release them. And it's nice sometimes. It feels good to release them.
Have you ever had to tow fish? I know like for tarpon, one technique that you're probably familiar with is to actually put a line on the tarpon because they fight so hard.
Yep.
And you pull them along, you know, whether you're drifting or using the motor or the electric to try to get the water to go over their gills.
When we tarpon fish, we do that all the time. And a lot of other larger fish, you'll put the boat just in gear, have somebody hold the fish down in the water, and that'll revive them pretty quick.
Good, good. Yeah, I find the saltwater fish, you have to act quickly, you know, and handle them carefully, get them back in the water. Most of them, the bigger ones, especially like tarpon, fight so hard that if you're not using the right gear, that can really harm the fish, as
yes,
you know.
It can.
You know, so the whole plan is to get them in quick. Also, you've got predators out there, right?
You
so
do.
especially with the tarpon, you've got the big hammerheads.
Yeah, big hammerheads, bull sharks. I mean, especially when a lot of people are fishing at this time of the year, it'll get pretty hectic.
I'd love to see when you post pictures on Facebook under Always and Forever Charters, especially the Canadians that come down holding big fish and smiley faces. I remember guys that really stand out, but you got a big tuna with them, and you got some AJs, they were from Canada, and they're like, you know,
we did
telling everybody, right?
I remember that day like it was yesterday when we got
the guys were so excited.
multiple species.
I've got people asking me, can you do like group trips? Will Tyler do group trips? I said, of course. You know, why don't you come down, go out with them, and then, you know, invite your friends, you know, 10, 14, whatever, and do like 3-4 days and go nuts. You know, like these guys do these golf adventures, you know, where they'll go like to the Carolinas, or even Florida, and they'll golf like 36 holes a day or more. They go nuts.
Yep.
So after they're done there 1 week, they don't want to golf anymore.
Yep.
So it's the same with some fishermen. You know, they just, and I'm sure you've had guys, have you had guys that have fished during the day and then also gone out that same night and fished all night, or not yet?
Yes, I have people who double book trips back to back and they'll fish both days in a row.
So how do they do it?
They
probably
must love it.
stumble and fall when they come off the boat and go back.
They definitely get their sea legs after that one.
Yeah. One of my most memorable times shooting with you was out doing the night shoot when we were getting everything. Snapper and, you know, all kinds, especially gag groupers.
Yeah.
And fish that, I don't know what they were, they broke us off. You know, maybe sharks, maybe other predators and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's that's a real adventure, and it's neat because at night, there's less wind. Most times when you night fish during a full moon than during the day. So it's like
and it's awesome when you get a calm, flat night and you see the stars. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
And then you see the bait fish around the boat.
Yeah, and the squid and all kinds of stuff.
The porpoises, the dolphins, and everything starting to feed. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, I'm glad we could get out again. We had to play like almost like a checkers game, jumping around in between the wind. Mm-hmm. Today we were thinking of going out, and they were calling for winds gusting up to 15 miles an hour.
It changes by the hour, so
yeah, I agree.
We got to keep a good eye on that.
So look, we got lots of ceviche here, no problem. We can eat it slow, and we can tell fish stories about the ones that we landed and the ones that we got away.
Hey, that sounds good to me.
One day I wandered out on the sea, searching for something that really found me. I didn't know it, but it drew me to it. Soon I was full of its passion in me. I'm Italo Labignan. 40 years I've fished the world and have learned it's not just about catching the fish, the size of the fish, or the numbers. It's about appreciating every sunrise and sunset, the smell of the sea, savoring the culture and the fish with friends. Here's the catch. It's the total experience. Presented by Bear Reels, versatile, precision, handcrafted hybrid center pins. Seabreeze Boats, tame the oceans. Raymarine Electronics. Raymarine, simply superior.